The mortgage meltdown cost millions of Americans their homes. Millions more are still struggling to avoid foreclosure. For months now, the states have been negotiating with major banks over the price that the banks should pay for their role in this national disaster. Today, they struck a deal. It will cost the banks as much as $25 billion, provide at least some compensation to some Americans who lost their homes, and help others avoid foreclosure. 1,750,000 people in all. Wyatt Andrews has more about what's in the deal, who it will help, and who it won't.
We have reached a landmark settlement.
The president calls it a great deal for homeowners. $25 billion will come from the nation's largest mortgage banks. $10 billion goes to loan reductions for homeowners facing foreclosure. $3 billion will help refinance loans at lower interest rates. And there will be payments of roughly $1,500 each to 750,000 people who lost their homes to foreclosure.
This isn't just good for these families. It's good for their neighborhoods, it's good for their communities, and it's good for our economy.
The deal might also be good for Una Palmer. For 2 years, she says, she's been fighting to reduce her loan with Bank of America, and the settlement gives her hope she can win.
Now, one day you're going to get up off your knees, so that's where I am, up off my knees.
In exchange for the money, the banks will be cleared of state charges of mortgage fraud and misconduct. When the banks foreclosed on some 4 million homes, they engaged in the mass forgery of documents called robo-signing to falsely claim they owned the mortgages on homes they wanted to sell off.
Some of them didn't read what they were signing at all. That's your stake, your claim on the American dream. And the person signing the document couldn't take enough time to even make sure that the foreclosure was legitimate.
Despite the $25 billion in this settlement, there are weaknesses to the deal that everyone admits. It only applies to loans that the banks hold themselves and not to loans held by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. Roughly 1 million homeowners will be helped when almost 11 million mortgages are in trouble. Then there's that $1,500 payment to the victims of improper foreclosures.
I felt like I got screwed.
For Jesse Hennigan, who lost his home as he applied to refinance, $1,500 is not justice.
We kicked you out of your house, but we've sold your house again now, so here's $1,500 for moving out. That's terrible.
Still, supporters of this deal say the biggest deal here are these loan reductions that the banks have promised. If this works and 1 million homeowners are saved from foreclosure and resume some lower mortgage payment, Scott, the theory is everyone wins, including the banks.
But Wyatt, how does someone who's underwater take part in this money?
Scott, that's very complicated. Two things we learned today. If you're a homeowner who's hoping for a principal reduction, you shouldn't just apply to your bank. This will probably take months, but you should also apply to your state attorney general. The AGs in each state are going to play a major role in keeping the banks honest on who gets these loan reductions and how much.
Wyatt, thanks very much.